Hey, this is Slamorama from GamingDrunk.com, and this is going to be a video a lot of people have been asking for. It's going to show you exactly how I do what you guys have seen me do. Record for my Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, or Nintendo Wii, and edit and render it for YouTube. Now, what's really good is this is probably going to be about for 75 to 80% of my videos. I'm going to show you exactly what I do. There is sometimes you can change some settings depending on how long the video might be or what you're going to do with it, and depending on where you're going to upload it. Like if I'm uploading to Vimeo, it's going to be completely different than if I upload to YouTube, because Vimeo is a little better with settings, but also there you have to pay for it in many ways, but it's better settings. But I'm going to do it for YouTube because that's where we're at, and I think a lot more people would get it would be more beneficial if I show how I do it for YouTube. I'm not going to do video capture. I know this is a long intro, but I just want to get you guys set up for what I'm going to be doing. There's going to be no video capture from a desktop. I'm just going to do screen captures, because when I watch some people with these video captures, it sometimes gets kind of crazy. I'd rather have a capture up there which you are looking at the entire time and you can decide what you're looking at rather than following someone's mouse. I think what happens is what normally everybody does, they follow the mouse instead of going and actually digesting the information. They just follow the mouse. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So let's get right into it, and hopefully if you can't follow along, go to the site. I'm hopefully going to make this article soon showing exactly everything I do, and maybe it'd be easier to read than actually watch this entire video. So first, to get you going, it's going to cost you a little money for the way I do it. I think pretty much you have to actually get good quality. Now, what I use personally is the Hauppauge HD PVR. There's two of them out now. There's the 1212, and there's also I think it's the 1445. And there's not much difference between the two. It's just that the newer one, I think, I'm grasping the straws again. It's going to be in the description, probably below the links to Amazon, and also go to the website. That's probably the easiest one. But the 1445, the only thing I've seen that's different is that it comes with cables that connect to your 360, your PS3, Nintendo Wii. So, do you really need it? I don't see a point to it. Maybe you will. I'd rather go with the one that's been out for a while, and it's probably going to be cheaper, and you'll get a 720p video. You can get 1080i, but we'll get to that a little later. Why I prefer 720p. There is a new one called, I think it's the Shuttle, by Blackmagic Intensity or something. Again, I'm going to have that on the site. It's like the Shuttle Pro, I think it's called. And I do like that one. I'm actually thinking about getting one because it supports 1080p. The reason why that I say you're going to be recording at 720p is that for me, 1080p on YouTube is great and all, but for the render time and officially how much, the file sizes and stuff, I don't see a point to it. 720p, even for when I do PC, and I'll probably do another video showing you how I do PC recording, but for me, you get just as much quality and just as much entertainment value for you at 720p at this point than at 1080p, and it's a lot easier to deal with and edit with, at least for me. That's my opinion. You could do 1080p, but this might not help you then. But enough of that. I can save that for the PC video talking about that. For this video, let's focus on 720p. Focus on the HD PVR from Hauppauge, and it's probably going to run you anywhere, and I've seen this, anywhere from $150 to $200. I think right now it's like $180, and for that price, I probably would get the HD PVR. I'd probably get the Blackmagic one, which I think is going to be even better because it supports USB 3.0. And it also gives the opportunity to use 1080p in the future, which is a nice feature. So again, I'll link both on the site, so you can just go to the site and then go to Amazon or wherever and buy it, and you guys can contrast them. But this should work. Again, at 720p, both of these are pretty much going to be recording in M2TS or AVI files, so this will work perfectly no matter which one you get. And for the sake of argument, I'm going to keep this simple. I'm going to be guessing you have a Windows box. If not, it does work on Linux. I don't know if there's a video showing you how to do it on Linux. If I get enough people in the comments saying, hey, can you show me how to do it on Linux, I'll definitely do it. But at this point, there's no point because someone has already showed people how to do it on a Mac. And I'm not a big Mac guy, so don't even ask me questions. If you're on an Apple, I can't help you. I've used Macs very seldom because I see no point. If I have a Unix workstation, I would rather use Unix. And let's not get in that argument. Let's go back into this. So after you install it all, there's a thing called ArcSoft Capture Module. That's what you're going to be using. Again, like I said, about 75-80% of the time, I use this. And let's go through some of these settings really quick that's on the main page. So after you plug it in, the PVR, you plug it into your USB, it's powered on, you have all your component cables set up, and it uses pass-through, by the way. I don't know if I should talk about that now. I might as well get it out of the way. So you're not going to lag when you're playing the video game. So on your TV or whatever it's set up, you're not going to lag. Don't play it on your computer because there is a lag because it has to encode it. It does encoding on the fly. It actually... That's why it uses pass-throughs, so you don't have to worry about that. And remember, the HD PVR uses USB 2.0, so that's why it only supports 720p. It goes max 1080i, but 720p is better because interlacing sucks. Don't do it. Just trust me on this one. Stay with progressive. There is no reason to go interlaced, and I could get into a huge, hour-long session of telling you why interlace sucks. But I'm not going to do that. Let's just follow my directions. Just listen to me. All right. So let's go through some of these settings. In the top corner, you might have to hit refresh a few times if it didn't connect right away. But it should show your Hopodge HD PVR showing up in there. It normally works, like I said, 9 out of 10 times. It doesn't work. Doesn't have a problem with it. Audio input, RCA back. That's fine. PC audio mode, 2-channel stereo. That's what I use. Why go 5.1? No reason to. And we get into the devices and stuff settings in another screenshot. But this is what I do. I use Sony Vegas to encode and render my videos. Therefore, don't save an Xbox 360 because that saves an MP4 and it sucks. It's the worst container I've ever seen. It's not even compliant. I don't even know what the hell they put in there. AVC HD doesn't work too well. It's really retarded. So again, I recommend using the PlayStation 3 settings, which stores an M2TS file, which is really nice. Also note in the bottom left corner, I have hardware acceleration checked. The reason is that my machine can handle it and it works great with it. So, but if you have an older machine and the recordings aren't looking good, maybe play with this setting a little bit. Maybe that'll help out your recordings and maybe not kill your machine. But always make sure you don't have enable preview on, because every time I have it, I don't know why you would have it on in the first place. If you're watching a computer screen, it's kind of weird. There's no reason to. And it also causes frame loss. Like, you'll just suddenly see frames getting dropped. It makes no sense, but for me it's happened a lot. So make sure that's unchecked for your best settings. Okay, so let's get going into device settings and format settings. So if you go into device settings, this is going to be the screen that comes up. I really didn't screw around with these too much at all. I don't even know. I think these might even be default. You can copy these and see how they work, but again, these are really to your own taste. For this stuff, normally though, I usually go and do it in Sony Vegas afterwards, which I'll show you some little tips and tricks that I do in there. So for this, the Video Proc amp, play with it if you want, but you don't have to. It's not necessary to screw with this. And this is the other tab called Video Decoder that's also in device settings. Make sure you have this pretty much set exactly to what I have here. I'm in the US, so we use NTSC, and it's _M. Lines detect at 720 because you're in 720p. So everything here should be shown exactly the same as mine. So make sure you're just set up right, and you should be good. And now probably for the most important settings, in format settings. There's only one tab. Also make sure that your Xbox 360 is in 720p mode, meaning that it's outputting at 1280 by 720. So if you have that, your source resolution should show as 1280 by 1280 by 720 at 60 frames per second. Now, this is for me. Always use constant bitrate. I always have problems if I do variable. I also always set it to 13.5, the best. Low pass filters I keep at 3, but I have messed with those a bit, but again, that's a game by game basis, so it's kind of tough to say this works for everything. I also always use AC3. A lot of people do use AAC. I don't. I seem to have issues with it, so I do use AC3 normally all the time. But that's pretty much exactly it. I do boost the analog audio input level, and I also disable bling LEDs because I don't want a fucking blue LED on all the damn time. So yeah, 13.5 megabytes per second. Yeah, it's going to make a bigger file, but you'll love the quality that you get. Now, even though it says 60 frames per second, it's actually not. It's actually 59.94, but we'll get to that later. So at this point, you're pretty much set for your PVR settings, your Hauppauge HD PVR. This is going to be the first one. I'm going to have a second part just for Sony and Vegas and my rendering settings that I use normally. But at this point, even if you're using the Blackmagic one, no matter what unit, if you can kind of mimic the settings, you can kind of get an idea of what I use and why I use 720p, because I don't feel, even though I do have a good PC, I don't feel like waiting like 2 hours when I could only wait like the half an hour to render a video in 720p rather than 1080p, and I don't see the point. But again, that's my opinion, and these are really all my opinions. I'm just trying to help you guys out. So in my next video, in part 2 or whatever I call it, I'll probably link it somewhere. I'm going to show you how I render it in Sony Vegas, and we can go from there. So thank you for watching. This is Slammer from GamingDrunk.com. If you have any problems, make sure you check the link in the description. That'll give you more information on how I actually set it up in the text format that you can follow along, probably easier than this.